morning, everyone. Well, one more day with a chance of severe storms in Nebraska, but then we have a pretty nice weekend to look forward to. But got to get through today first, so let's get right to your hour-by-hour forecast. 8 a.m. this morning, some leftover showers and weak storms in the far southeastern corner of the state, but that is it. Everywhere else is going to be dry. And I do think that activity in the southeastern corner of the state is going to come to an end late this morning, and then we're going to have a brief period where it's going to be completely dry in the state, but already in the early afternoon, new activity is going to be firing up in the Panhandle with a cold front that's going to be pushing into the state. So keep an eye on how temperatures are going to be changing as we go through today and this cold front moves through. So it does look like we're going to reach the low 90s in Scottsbluff early afternoon, but then we will be cooling down. And I've got to mention that at any point, the storms that are going to be along this front could be severe, although it does look like there's going to be a peak in the activity during the evening hours. So here we are at 2 o'clock. Notice that most of us are going to be dry. 5 o'clock, the front on the move, and notice how the temperatures dropped over in Scottsbluff. And in fact, let's take a look at high temperatures today. So because of that morning cloud cover and rain in the southeastern part of the state, notice how it's going to be cooler in places like Beatrice, Lincoln, and Omaha, probably only topping out in the 80s, but we're not dealing with morning rain. We're going to see low, mid, maybe even some upper 90s. Also, let's talk about the wind situation. So we're going to call it windy in eastern Nebraska, windy in the Panhandle, just breezy in the central part. Saying by windy, we're talking about gusts in that 30 to 35 mile per hour range, and breezy gusts 20, 25 miles per hour. So there we are at 5 o'clock. Best chance of rain, Oshkosh and Mullen area. But look how there's more red showing up when we get to 8 o'clock. So it does look like the activity is going to intensify, and there are not going to be as many gaps in the line. So we're kind of seeing a peak of activity during the evening hours, kind of getting its act together in the central part of the state, and it looks like it's going to hold together as it pushes to the east. There's 8 o'clock. Now let's jump ahead to 11 o'clock. Notice still dry in the Lincoln, Omaha area, but really the time period I'm focusing in on right now for Lincoln, Omaha is from about 11 o'clock tonight until 2 a.m. So early evening hours probably still going to be dry in the Lincoln, Omaha area, but late evening, early overnight hours, that's what we're looking at. And notice those dark shades right now. Notice how they're starting to see some breaks again, but I still am concerned about the threat of damaging wind, hail, outside chance, very outside chance for a tornado. That said, by 2 a.m., all that activity is east of us, a severe weather threat coming to an end. But that's, yes, about a 12-hour window from 2 o'clock this afternoon until 2 a.m. tonight, where that front is going to be moving across, and there's going to be a line of showers and storms moving from west to east across the state. So what this means is that the entire state has a threat of seeing severe storms. It's greatest, though, during the evening hours, particularly in the central and eastern part of the state, in that shade of yellow, so North Platte, Kearney, Grand Island, Columbus, Lincoln, Omaha. The slight risk, level 2 out of 5. Everyone else under the level 1 threat, Beatrice, Scottsbluff, marginal risk, but most concerned about that area of yellow for the potential of wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, quarter-size hail, and though the chance is small, can't completely rule out a couple of EF0 or EF1 tornadoes popping up. So that's the bad news. Now let's get to some better news, which is Saturday and Sunday in the state. Now, I do have to mention some leftover activity in the morning hours, particularly in eastern Nebraska, Saturday. During the morning, isolated showers, maybe still a weak storm. We're not worried about severe storms anymore at this point. Notice the rain icon not even showing up there, though, so I guarantee you're going to see rain on Saturday, but I do want to mention chance during the morning hours for the eastern part of the state in particular. Very outside chance still for some leftover stray showers, very early morning hours in the central part of the state. Going to be completely dry over in the western part of the state, though. Now, what you're seeing with these little wind icons in the central part of the state, that's where there's going to be windy conditions. So kind of the opposite of what we're seeing today. So in eastern and western Nebraska, it's just going to be breezy. But right in the central part of the state, windy, gusts 30, 35 miles per hour. Notice cooler tomorrow, particularly in the central part of the state, where we're largely only going to be topping out in the low to mid 80s. Temperature's not that different in the southeastern part of the state for tomorrow. But notice those 70s and mid to upper 70s out there. All right, what about Saturday night? Well, I think the evening hours, again, afternoon Saturday are going to be dry. The rain chance is just in the morning hours. Afternoon is going to be dry. Early evening hours are going to be dry. We might see a few showers return to the Panhandle very late Saturday night, but only in the Panhandle. I think central and eastern Nebraska are going to stay completely dry. And look at these temperatures. Look at all the 50s, maybe even some 40s. The northwestern part of the state, about upper to mid 40s, but I think what's going to be most common are temperatures largely in the mid 50s, some low 50s, some upper 50s. Far southeastern part of the state, maybe some only cooling down to around 60 degrees. What about Sunday? How about temperatures continuing to fall? Because we're getting a reinforcing shot of cooler air on Saturday. That's why temperatures are actually going to be even cooler on Sunday than Saturday. Again, about the same in the Panhandle, but everywhere else cooler. Maybe a couple spots reaching around 80 degrees, but I do think mid to upper 70s are going to be widespread. We'll just call it uniformly breezy across the state on Sunday. Not much humidity. I do think far eastern Nebraska is going to stay dry, but for the central and western part of the state, and particularly where you see those cloudy icons, that's where the best chance of seeing a few showers is. But we're not talking about much. It's not a guarantee you're going to see rain. Overall, Sunday afternoon, with just very small rain chances, looking pretty darn good.